Welcome, Chicago. Okay, we are here at the JW Marriott where we're going to be speaking and unveiling the findings of a two-year study, a two-year case study that we have done on the nation's top 100 CEOs from independently held and private companies. We're super excited to reveal the 5 pillars of excellence that operates their business and their mindset. Okay, we'll also have a little bit of a gift today for people. That gift is a little pop-it ball. It seems elementary at first, but once you understand the meaning and the metaphor of it, it can change your life. As well, we're going to share the magazine, the publication for Power 100 that highlights everything that we did this year and last year. So we're very excited. Let's go get in there, and as always, power up. We got the green light, let's go.
Please welcome Greg Cummings to the stage.
First of all, I'm very appreciative of Pinnacle for having me here to deliver this keynote on our case study that we have been working very, very hard on for the last couple of years. You'll see, I'm also very appreciative of the team that we have, our media team. They put out the best content in the world, but I'm biased on that. Also very grateful for my advisory board. I heed my own advice where I surround myself with the best possible people. And I believe that you're a product of who you surround yourself with consistently. Paul Burleson passing out magazines for us. This is a publication, we put out one per year, just highlights what we've done. There's no advertisements in it, nothing like that. It's a summary of Power 100 because I get asked so often, what does Power 100 do? Also, Charlie Chena is helping pass out. He's another advisory board member. In there, you can see some write-ups on them, as well as the top 15 strategic partners and everything else that we do. So, as I mentioned, today's talk of the best leaders in this industry, specifically privately held, independently owned and operated leaders, just like you. Our platform excludes private equity-owned businesses, franchises, or large corporations because they don't have customers to answer to. They have boardrooms and things like that. Nothing against them. A lot of them do fantastic business, but we had to find our niche. And so that's where our niche is. Today we're going to reveal the 5 pillars that and today you can take away these 5 pillars and truly change your life and everyone around you. Collectively, we can change the lives of millions of homeowners and basically save this industry and put the shining star on it because you do the best work, provide the best customer service over any industry out there, period, end of story. I know it and I've seen it. So why am I up here? Okay, I'm Greg Cummings, the CEO of Power 100 and Next 100, fully dedicated to this industry and everything else that I do. Quick background on me. I was a student athlete, played college basketball, full ride, stuck it out, graduated on time all 4 years, okay? And maintained my eligibility, which was very challenging at some times. I also was working for a global communication company, traveling the world, working with large brands to put together internal and external go-to-market strategies to make sure their brand was synonymous from every possible perspective. I'm also a husband. My wife is incredible. She's given so many things and helped my perspective on life. She saved my life. I'll tell you stories about that later. But most importantly, she gave me my 2 children. I'm also a father. 2 little girls. Right now they're 9 and 5. They're the reason this blood flows through my body and air goes into my lungs. If you have kids, you know what I mean. I'm also an outdoor enthusiast. You'll find me out on a trail instead of down on the strip when we're in Vegas, okay? And I also was in your shoes. A partner of mine and we purchased a window and door business a number of years ago. It's called Mr. Window. When I was traveling the world and I had my first kid, I was at a bar with a buddy and I was like, I'm gonna quit my job and start a business because I wanna be home. I've got a world-class education on how businesses run, how people make money, what mistakes they make, and I'm like, if these morons can do it, so can us, right? So, without further ado, we rented a basement apartment, or a basement office in St. Petersburg, Florida. And if you're familiar with St. Petersburg, Florida, the line to water is about this deep. So to find a basement is very difficult. It was obviously cheap and very low ceilings, and I'm tall, so it was uncomfortable. But we whiteboarded the whole thing and figured out what industry to get into. And we landed on windows and doors, specifically impact products in Florida. Now, I say that because however you guys got into this industry, all of our analytical data, research, time, energy, and effort pushed us to this industry because of the trajectory over the next 5 to 25 years. We felt confident in this industry over everything else. We felt like the tech side would go up and down. There's a lot of volatility, very easy to duplicate. But you cannot duplicate people. And that's going to be the premise of what we got today. We learned a lot of lessons. We scaled that business once we bought it from 144,000 of annual replacement business to over 10 million in 3 years. But it had a 40-year tenure, great business ratings, great standing, involved in the community. That's all we were looking for, is a shot. And so we did that very successfully from the outside, but from the inside we lost probably millions of dollars. It was a hard run because we didn't have any support. We thought we could do it on our own. And I'm telling you, the second that changed was the second our business changed. So I want to reinforce that to you. And then we also, Mr. Window led me to create Power100 because I was tired of going against people that didn't deliver on what they said they would deliver. Because I knew that my product, despite being 20% more, was 100% more of the product, peace of mind, that we were going to deliver. And I was never, ever going to let a customer leave unhappy. And in fact, our mission was to wow every single customer. Holy cow. Did we just have our windows done, or did we stay at the Ritz-Carlton? That was my mantra every single meeting with every single person in the company. And I've done every single position, okay? I answered every phone, I trained, I hired, did all that thing from the ground up. When you have a small business and there's only 2 of you, you clean house and you do absolutely everything. So when I tell you, I'm telling you all this for one reason. When I look you in the eyes, I know how you feel. I know the decisions that you have to make. And I've made the wrong ones, made some right ones. I've been fortunate, I've been unfortunate. But overall, I kept going. And on top of that, I started to surround myself with the right people and learn and learn and learn, and things definitely changed. So what's Power100? All right, enough of all that. Power100, at the base of it, is a 5-layer proprietary ranking system equipped with multiple internal dynamic algorithms as well as 2 separate points of human interaction to combine the very best of AI, machine learning, and of course, human intelligence. Why? Because I want to know who the best leader is. Have you ever seen a good team? Have you ever seen a great team without an amazing leader? No. And if you do, they're there for a second and then they're gone. Probably in jail. So what we do with that system is we produce and publish a top 100 list, the best leaders in this industry. And of the qualified bucket, there are over 8,000 leaders that we review on an annual and ongoing basis. A byproduct of this is people would come up to me and say, hey, I got a problem with this, or I have an issue with that, or how do I improve this, or how do I improve that, right? And so a couple years in, we created the top 15 strategic partners. These top 15 strategic partners, I have more time to due diligence on a company than you guys do. This is all that we do. So when we put out a top 15 list, it's powerful, it's trusted, and in fact, if you were to call me up and say that it's not as advertised, that can result in a further evaluation of them and potentially removal from our platform. So you're not alone. That's what we'd say all the customers out there, right? All your homeowners. You know, if you can make them feel not alone and more than a number, you're going to sell more. Same thing goes for us here. You can't buy your way on the list. There's no application. There's no apply. There's no pay to play. It's the only true unbiased platform of its kind in this industry focused on leadership. So over the last year, I mentioned it earlier, we did a case study. This case study, well, it's actually been 2 years, but we've been really working on formulating the data further. This last year, it's been a full 360 case study on how the top leaders operate, what their tone, their tempo, their commonalities are. And so this is also why we're here. This is the main reason we're here. These will help you get better. These are things that you can implement in your business. These 5 pillars, you can take these back and get better today. It's not one thing. Forget that. Don't take away one thing and come here. Take away a shitload, okay? But it doesn't matter how many things you take away or how little you take away when you leave that door. How do you implement it? We're going to share that as well. We did over 1,000 interviews with CEOs, executive teams, employees, installers, homeowners. We've led panel discussions, focus groups, and homeowner surveys. We don't just say, oh, these guys are good, they're good. No. We dig in. The companies that allow us to have full evaluation of their businesses, these guys have nothing to hide. Therefore, their risk to the homeowner is low. Therefore, they have a better opportunity to be more well presented on our platform. Because everything's about risk. If you can mitigate the homeowner's risk and have them have a peace of mind, you're going to sell a lot. And you're going to be able to sell at any price that you want. Okay? The number one commonality that these leaders commit to, dedicate their lives to, is communication. Okay? Communication is the sole driver of culture. But what it doesn't say right there is culture is the sole driver of success. Thanks to a presentation yesterday I had the pleasure of listening to, somebody asked the audience, they said, hey, how many of y'all would like to improve your culture? And y'all raised your hands, so I don't have to do that. Whether your culture sucks, it's in the tank, or it's the best it's ever been, the guys and gals that are on our list say the same thing. If they were sitting here, they would have raised their hand because they are always looking to improve your culture. There's never a second, there's never a day that you are not pushing your culture and your agenda. So I have a gift for you guys. Do I have any CEOs, owners, presidents? Your titles are up there. If you guys could raise your hand, I'm going to toss out a little gift here. We got any? Oh man, we got to work on my throwing skills, but I'll blame you guys for catching. While I'm doing this gift might seem elementary, y'all, but I promise you, having this is literally a metaphor at the end, and it can change your life because of what things represent. By the way, you guys chose to start a company. So you guys chose this life. So embrace it to be the absolute best that you can. Do I have any just managers, like second tier, reporting to the owner? Anybody like that? Anybody else want one? Think I can get Alex way over there? Paul's gonna keep distributing these. Let's see if I can get a little distance on it. Gotta have a little fun too. It's all about culture, guys. So the people that are managers, maybe they didn't start a business, but they're responsible for things. You guys are screwed because you got promoted because you were the best at what you do. You no longer have somebody to develop you. That's if you guys are really good, because if your sales manager should know a heck of a lot more than your CEO and ownership. That's why they have the position. So on and so forth with operations, marketing. So today, we're going to do a little permission and promise release, okay? I promise you're going to be better after hearing this and leaving here today, okay? You guys all have explicit permission from somebody, whether it's yourself, your team, I don't care who it is. You have explicit permission because you're here. You've all agreed to spend time, energy, efforts, and resources to improve your business, right? And so for you to not be in your business is detrimental if that time's not utilized the right way. Let me remind you why you came here if you want to read this, okay? So you're stepping out of your daily routine to learn something, transform, and then return to share, implement, train, and drive results. You didn't come here just to have a party. If you did, maybe, I don't know if I'd go to Chicago, even though this place is absolutely gorgeous, and thankfully it's the best time of year to be in Chicago. But if you wanted to just have a really good time, maybe you could do something else with it, right? So now we're going to get into the good stuff, okay? We're going to share the 5 pillars, commonalities of the best leaders in this industry. I want to also thank my team that has worked so hard, so diligently to put this stuff together. Like the words can't explain how grateful I am to have them. The 5 pillars, real quick: brand focus, project manager as quarterback, unbreakable commitment, sales rangers, and hogs. A couple of you know what hogs are, better known as huge, outrageous goals, or what I call them is a test of your culture. Let's get into it. Pillar 1, brand focus. Anybody ever been in a group of like kindergartners around Christmas time? Let's just say at a Christian school for all the naysayers out there. Let's get very specific. If we were to walk in, let's say December 12th happens to be my wife's birthday, to a kindergarten, and we were like, hey, we showed up with some swag, Christmas swag, and said, hey, do you guys believe in Santa? Are we gonna get, yeah, man, all right. Are we gonna get that? Or are you gonna get eyes glittering, ecstatic, astounding responses as if Santa Claus himself is watching those kids and saying, I'm not gonna get you a present unless you're all in? That is what your culture and your brand must be. If I ask any one of your employees, is this the best company in the world? If they don't get that glitter, if they don't get that belief, then you have a massive room for opportunity. Massive room for opportunity. And let me tell you, this is possible, guys, because I've seen it firsthand with these outstanding leaders. I've been in quarterly kickoffs with, rooms 3 times as big as this of a sales team where they're pounding the table, chanting. It's the culture that we would dream of. We're gonna get into how to do that, by the way, okay? I'm gonna give you some first steps. First step is you need to have a creed. Again, slightly repetitive, I'm gonna do a different angle from yesterday, okay? The creed needs to be centered around being the best company in the world. It seems weird to say, that's only because you don't believe. Seems also really weird to say I believe in Santa, doesn't it? I might even take a gentle step and say, do you believe in God? Some people might say that's crazy, but it's out there. And belief is what makes reality, y'all. Belief is what makes reality. Period. End of story. You need to reinforce daily. You don't practice when you want to. You practice when you don't want to. That's how you get better, right? You celebrate the wins, the belief that reinforces it. Brand focus. Pillar number 1. You guys like it? You want to see the rest of them? Why not? This is a trend that I want to start. I want to create a new position in the home improvement industry. And I would love for you guys to take the first step. This case study will turn into a publication. It will be out next year, by the way. We're going to have a whole book on it. It's going to be really awesome because there's so many good pieces of material here. Your quarterback is the most important person. Your project manager, however you look at it, I'm going to describe the actions of this person in a second. So your offense, let's stick with the football analogy, okay? We're going to kind of carry that through the next couple. What are sales? Offense or defense? It's pretty easy, right? Sales is offense. Your your operations and installation is your defense. And your quarterback is in charge of the win. Have you ever seen Tom Brady grab a defensive player's face mask? What the heck are you doing, and get them up when they're down? Encourage them with energy, passion, and commitment? Yeah. He knows the defensive plays better than they do. Have you ever seen Tom Brady grab a kick returner that just fumbled a kickoff to get him back on track? Yeah. You think Tom Brady's pissed when they only score 12 points, but they win the game? No, he's dapping everybody up. This is his time to say, defense, you are the reason we won. I thank you so much. And they're looking at Tom Brady like, oh my God, thank you. There's more to it. Football is a perfect analogy of our business. Now, on that 12-point performance, you better believe he's going to get into the film room. He's going to get into his guys. Why they're not blocking and tackling, right? But that's besides the point. We celebrate out in public, but we work together hard to improve and criticize together, shoulder to shoulder. The project manager needs to be on site daily, every single installation, or at least touch them every day. Zero. I'm going to say it again. There is no exception to this. If one guy can't get to all your installations, then you need to have 2 guys. If 2 guys can't do it, you need to get to 3. Now you got to prioritize. At the very least, they have to call. They have to call in the morning and afternoon if they don't physically go. If they physically go, they don't need it. They need a follow-up cadence to it. This is the best way to culture. And this person, your quarterback, needs to be Tom Brady. They need to have everyone's best interest. They need to be KPI driven from sales, operations, and installation. They need to also be proactive. They need to create 51% of your service-related visits. Meaning, they are creating more visits than the customer, okay? Why? Because that one customer is not the Super Bowl, y'all. That one customer is just a day in the life of the quarterback. Their mission is not to win that job and walk away with the maximum dollars. Their job is to create a company that wins every single time at the highest level. And our Super Bowl for this industry is way down the road. And by the way, that game's never going to happen. But we're always preparing for it, right? That's what you guys know what I mean by that? Meaning the Super Bowl is the end of a season, but we don't have an end of the season. We keep going and going and going and going and going. We don't have the luxury of an off season. The project manager as a quarterback, most of you do not have anything that resembles this. Some of you do. Great job. However, the attention to it, the KPI ownership, and the proactive serviceable items, I bet you have some room for opportunity, which is exciting. Unbreakable commitment. This is your first step, okay? Your first step to a better new culture. It starts with you. Every single one of you can make this step right now, okay? Have any of you canceled a meeting last second, let's just say within 24 hours with one of your key people or a customer or a vendor? Have any of you got on a meeting but been so distracted with text messages and you convince yourself that whatever else is going on is not as important as what's in front of you? Of course you have. You run a small business. That happens 50,000 times a day. You got to manage your schedule. You got to stick to it. You got to streamline your process. This way you can commit 100%. Now things are going to happen. I ask you one thing. Reschedule that meeting with your employees or whoever you're meeting with, even if it's your wife or your husband, okay? Because I don't want you guys to lose your families. I've seen that happen. That's the most devastating loss over any financial hit that you can take. Give 48-hour notice to any reschedule. And then when in the same message, offer times within 24 hours to reschedule. Then when you're there, be a minute early, okay? And be prepared, be laser focused. Get something out of it. That's how you change your culture. You change your culture one meeting at a time. These are little trust bridges that grow and become substantial if you do it right again and again and again. And again, this is not me saying this. This is my observations of the best leaders of 100, 250, $175 million companies, of the privately held, independently owned and operated businesses. They're a direct relation to you. Can I get a show of hands how many people think this is important? How many people can improve on this? If you don't raise your hand, I'm going to ask you why. Let's do it again. Every single person can get better on this. I've done this in our focus groups with the top 100 CEOs out there. So read this oath silently, adopt it, and have it be a part of your life. Because this oath reminds me, it humbles me, why I started everything and what we're all about. Believing is reality, right? We talked about that earlier. If you believe something, it'll become reality. Your fourth pillar is your sales team. They are Army Rangers. For those of you that don't know what an Army Ranger is, they're one of the most elite groups in the United States Army, if not the best. Now I say that I'm biased here, okay? I break one of my rules because I went to West Point for a year. I got a congressional appointment. I went through the whole process. I went through boot camp with probably 500,000, I don't know how many people, strangers. And I came out of boot camp with brothers. I came out of boot camp with relationships that have outlasted almost everything. Girlfriends, moves, you name it. Whatever it is. These guys have stayed in my life I didn't stay there even a whole year. But I got to experience what real, true culture was firsthand. When you believe in something. Army Rangers, for those of you that don't know what they do, they jump behind enemy lines out of a freaking airplane with a parachute, okay? They're outnumbered thousands to one, but they're victorious almost every time. Like 99%, by the way. And they never leave a man behind. How many people feel like they're outnumbered thousands to one on a daily basis? Your team, okay? Your sales team has to operate with the same mentality that these Army Rangers do. That we are outnumbered and we're here to save lives. If you let that customer, that homeowner, prospect at this point, not buy from you, you're letting them fall off of a cliff to their rocky death. Because you can't control the outcome of that project. You don't know if there's a scrupulous contractor that's going to come in there snake oil them, and leave them high and dry. And we might not know it for a couple years, right? But you guys, I know that you're not going to do that because you're dedicated, you're here. So, installation visits. 1 installation visit every single week is mandatory. If you don't do it, I'm not giving you another appointment next week. Period, end of story. Period, end of story. I don't care how good you are. This will prevent slumps. This will encourage culture. This will help communication across corporate lines, meaning divisions, right? They're going to see their QB there. They're going to see their install crews. They're going to see the customer. They're going to get reminded of how freaking great you are, how hard you work. That passion gets carried into the sales process. On-site training. Do you think the Army Rangers say, oh, no, we're good, y'all. We went through, we did all that. Or do they train every single day? Do they prepare like a life or death situation? Believing is reality. If you think this sounds corny, you might want to think about getting out of the business or being really freaking happy with the money you're making right now. Cultures like this exist. The test is how many of you can stand in front of your teams and organizations right now and be equipped with knowledge, process, tools, resources that are added to triple your revenue next year in 2026. Probably not, because it's why you're here and you're looking for stuff, which is awesome. It's the first step. Huge, outrageous goals are a test of your culture. When you can say a huge, outrageous goal with confidence, when you can stand in front of your company with confidence and say that we're the best company in the world, you're a part of something, you feel it, then you can achieve almost anything, y'all. Sounds corny, but believing is reality. But it's more than believing. It's the Army Ranger way of preparing. So how you roll out a huge, outrageous goal is you can't just get in your sales meeting and go, guys, oh my God, we're going to do 38 million next year. Bro, we did 8 last year. What do we get? Well, look, we can increase closing percentage by 10%. I know it. You're better. I'm like, you got another year under your belt. You're coming back. You're not a rookie anymore. We got a veteran team. We just added two really good install crews. Life is freaking awesome. Well, are we adding anybody else? Like, how are we going to get leads? Like, you realize I'm sitting like 1.5 leads a day. Yeah, but you can do more. We can have you knock on doors. You'll find more business. We'll get more referrals. You're going to lose a lot of your sales team, right? They're going to not trust you because they don't really believe in what you're saying. But more importantly, what's going to happen is the ripple effect within your organization from a culture perspective. And again, if I go back, communication is the sole driver of culture, and culture is what? The sole driver of success. So in order to create these hogs in your company, you need to have a methodical system, new tools, new resources, new process. Almost every year, you guys. If you have the same process, tools, resources, and people that you did last year, don't expect growth. You might have more revenue, but you can turn around and think, inflation. Look at the number of jobs. You can do 10% less jobs, okay? Listen to this statistic. You can do 10% less jobs, but show a 15% growth on average over the last 3 years just because of inflation. Know your numbers. Set the goals. Get your system, processes, and people in place on day 1 by Q4. Talk to these partners that are here to help you. This way then, when you roll out your plan on day 1 of Q4, you have all Q4 to train and go live on January 1st. Another thing, don't change goals. Don't go back and forth. You say something, stick with it for a while. Let's connect the bumps here, the balls. I told you it's elementary at heart, which is cool, but it's a metaphor. I've heard all the pops. Some of you tried to get all of them down, and you can't, right? And then in your mind, you get down, there's like 4 or 5 little bumps left, and you're like, well, shit, I can't get any more. So you squeeze the whole thing and start over. Try to use a new method, okay? This is exactly how our businesses run every year. When you get to a point in your business where there's 4 or 5 little bumps left, don't just keep trying to push them down and try to focus on that one thing. You're going to miss so much around you because when you push one down, another one pops up. But it's not the same bump you just pushed down. It's something different because you're creating ripple effects that will literally tear your organization apart. So once you get it down to where there's 4 or 5 up there, streamline your process, focus on culture, celebrate the win, and then you choose, oh, by the way, you have to go get with your partners, get your new game plan. You choose when to squeeze that and start over the next year. But you're not starting over, are you? Because you have your experience, you have your foundation is increased, You have your people, your processes that you're rolling out methodically. And so this ball, keep it with you. It can be a reminder. Don't do knee-jerk reactions that has impacts the culture that will be fatal. Reflection, recap real quick. 5 pillars, right? Brand focus, project manager as quarterback, unbreakable commitment, you took the oath. Sales team as Army Rangers, both through preparation and execution. And then your final test to see if you've done a good job this year is go set a huge, outrageous goal. But how do you ensure that you and your team are moving at the rate or pace that is really required to hit it? Well, you need, again, let's go full circle. You need to surround yourself with the right people that do the right things, that are focused on what you want to be focused on, okay? And if you do that consistently, your life will change. By default, your people's lives will change. And then by default, if we do it over and over again, this industry's reputation is going to be sky high. And if the industry's reputation is sky high, then what? We can all close and sell at a lot higher rates. So, pretty good idea. My other company, Next100, we created this out of a need, really. This is what I wanted when I was growing and scaling my business, was a network of people, because that's the answer, is to be around people that are doing things the right way. But you don't have time to go figure it out and who you should be buddy-buddy with, nor should you be buddy-buddy with them. It should be a professional working relationship. So Next100, we've taken the entire Power100 network and we have streamlined it into a process where we are helping members proactively look at their business on an annual, I don't want to say coaching, it's not really coaching, it's sort of a self-guided tour, okay? But without this, it's hard to proactively look at something. So we rotate, there's 2 calls, 2 meetings a month. They're live, so you can ask questions to these guys as well. So it rotates between sales, marketing, operations, and customer experience. Those are the 4 core areas that we have identified through our case study that are most critical to your business, which is why we did a case study, why we're doing up this, and it's all kind of connected, right? I want to end it with more appreciation again to my team, my advisory board, all of the participants, the case study that have opened their doors, allowed us to evaluate their business on unprecedented levels, where we've been able to go in and literally have an open look at their company to make sure that their brand is congruent from top to customer. What I mean by that is our interviews with them, with the leaders, are actually driving the intentions and the results that the customers are receiving. That's pretty cool. So you guys have a choice. You can go in, all that fun stuff. I'm not your cheerleader, but I do have a passion for working with the absolute best people in the world. And I believe a lot of those people are in this industry. So if you want to learn more about our business, what we do, scan these QR codes. The Power100 will take you to the Power100 site. Next100 will take you to the Next100 sign-up page. What I'm doing, because I do care, anybody that signs up for Next100, it's completely free. You have a guest 30-day membership. You get to experience 2 meetings, full access to the portal, tools, resources, everything, all the way through. If you're a little bit larger company, 15 million to 25 million, you can put your team on it, your sales leaders, your marketing managers, because we talked about there's no one that develops them, right? This will put them in the group, in the presence of other like-minded sales managers, marketing managers, operation leads, and customer experience leads. And my dream is to change that customer experience to the quarterback club. But I need a lot of help doing that. And that's probably 2-3 years down the line. So anybody that signs up for Next100, go through. I will actually personally do your onboarding because I want to get to know you, your business, celebrate your wins, and hear a little bit about what your opportunities are. Anybody that signs up today gets a member hat. So I'm going to leave these up here. So if you sign up, go grab a hat, and I look forward to meeting you, okay? So if you've seen any of my videos, you know how I end everything. As always, power up. Thank you.
One thing I really liked about Greg's presentation is his energy. He's a high energy, power up means a lot to him. He definitely represents that. When he's on stage, he commands it, everyone's paying attention.
So, I mean, hey, if you're a pro remodeler, I just want to say that some awesome speakers at this show, but Greg up there just, knocked it out of the park. Energy was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
best part of the speech was actually the motivational side, being able to talk about how to really get behind the processes and how to turn those around. The 5 steps were pretty amazing.
I was really happy to have Greg Cummings up there on the stage speaking. He was incredibly energetic, and even some of the top industry leaders that I saw sitting in the audience were taking notes, and to me, that's a good sign.
Yeah, it's been an amazing time here at the Pinnacle Conference here in Chicago. Greg just got off stage, and man, that was a action-packed speech. Really, I gotta say, one of the top-notch ones that I've seen here.
I'm Dustin Kirby with G4 Marketing here at Pinnacle Experience. Greg just got off the stage, and it was really great to listen to him speak. Really just his first guy to speak in the morning, on the last day, and he just brought a ton of energy to the group. It was great to hear also his backstory. You can just tell that truly Greg is a winner.
All right, we just wrapped up a long day. We got in late last night, spoke just now on stage, okay? And to recap, there's 5 pillars that our 2-year case study has just got unveiled, and it will be published in a book here at the end of the year. But those 5 pillars of commonalities in successful leaders in this industry, specifically privately held, independently owned, and operated, are as follows. Brand focus, project manager as quarterback, a trend I need your help to start, as well as unbreakable commitment. You just took the oath, show it quick, pause it, read it. Then from there, your sales team needs to be Army Rangers. They need to have the training, the precision, the mentality. It's a win at all costs, and losing is not an option. And then lastly, you have to be able to set huge, outrageous goals to test how much your culture is adopted, how much your company and your lead and your team believes in you. Check it all out. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this improves your life and all of those that are around you. And until next time, as always, power up.